Good morning, everyone. My name is Julie. I am the owner and founder of Lady Full-Tie. You are either watching this video on my Facebook page or my YouTube channel. Today we're going to do a little craft. We're going to talk about Mabon for just a minute. Not too much though, because I actually have like 2 other videos from years past that talk about Mabon. So if you're interested in learning more about Mabon, you can go back and watch those videos for more detailed information. But right now we're going to smudge real quick. Got a new lighter finally. So we're going to have a little white sage go here for us. I was running late this morning, but you know, 99% of the time I'm running late. Me and time are not in the same place at the same time. And since I finally got a lighter, I'm going to do a little Paleo Santos as well. You see that here? Maybe. For you that are not familiar with Palo Santos, it is a wood that comes out of Mexico. It is only, well, it should only be harvested once the tree has died or fallen over. A good harvester will not harvest out from a live tree. It smells amazing. It's for clearing and cleansing, and it's also antibacterial. And it's fairly inexpensive, even though it's a sacred wood. This stick was about $3, and it was probably about that big when I bought it, and I've been using it for over a year, and I like it quite a bit. So for $3, you know, depending on where you get it, $3, $4, they last a really long time, and they smell amazing. I love the smell of it. Even to have it in the house and not light it, you know, its natural aroma will be in the house for you as well. So let's see here. I am not put together well this morning. Like I said, I was running late. I didn't even get my notebook or anything out yet. So I do have my crafting supplies. I think I have my crafting supplies. Crazy. Kids came over for supper last night. It's always crazy when that happens. So, a little bit about Mabon. Morning, Annette. Hi. Hope you're well. Thanks for popping on. So we're going to talk just a little bit. I just smudged, and we're going to talk a little bit about Mabon, and then we're going to get into the craft. But like I said, if you're interested in learning more about Mabon, there's other videos I have out there as well. And with anything else, you can, you know, go to YouTube or Google it, and there's like a bazillion other people that will talk about Mabon as well. But I did have a video from last year that I talked about Mabon, and a video the year before that I talked about Mabon. So this is just kind of a refresher, and then we'll get into crafting. Mabon is celebrated at the fall equinox, so it is usually right around September 20th to 23rd. Again, way back in the day, they didn't have a calendar to say it's today, but it would have been about the time where the nights and the days were about equal length. Actually, for us, that's going to be September 25th. Sun up and sun down are both at 6:37. But you know, we're gonna most of the time it's celebrated around the 23rd. But yeah, right around there, those days is when it's celebrated. It is a harvest festival. It is typically was known for the fruit harvest. So this is when they would have harvested mostly apples. So Mabon is a lot of apple stuff. So if you're looking to do some Mabon stuff, it would be apple pies, apple breads, apple cookies, you know, anything like that. I usually make an apple crisp. Some sort of baking with apples is a good way to celebrate Mabon. And that's just, you know, that's our season anyway. So that's what we would, whether we know we're doing Mabon ritual or not, a lot of us are this time of year, we're making, you know, apple crisp and apple pie and apple tarts and picking apples and all those things. So it was just a natural thing that you did. Quick side note here, you know, I go by the wheel of the year, which is typically known as like the Celtic pagan holidays, but the image that you see for that in the names on there didn't actually come around until about the 19th century. You know, pagans didn't call it Mabon, or Yule or any of those. You know, we're really not sure what they probably called them, but somewhere in the last century, somebody kind of went through and made a pretty picture and named everything and kind of made it a little bit more universal. There's still some conflict on some of the names. Some of the holidays may go by 2 or 3 different names. But Mabon is typically the second harvest, and it's at the fall equinox. Mabon is actually the name of a Welsh god. He is the son of the Earth Mother. So it's, you know, kind of basically Gaia, Pachamama, Mother Earth. The Welsh just had a little bit of a different name for her. It was Madron, and I'm probably not pronouncing that correctly. It's Modron. So I'd say Madron. I'm just guessing, but so Mabon was known as the son of light. He was also a hunter, and he was often represented with a horse symbol or a hound symbol. So again, that goes into that hunting kind of a thing. But so some of the things you would do at Mabon is, which are again things we already do. Most of us just don't really know about it. We're decorating for fall. So, you know, we put out the scarecrows. I mean, they didn't put out scarecrows back then, but a lot of straw, corn silks, corn stalks, gourds, pumpkins, you know, all the things that we decorate with now. Some other things that you could use to decorate, and decorate, you know, I use that term pretty, I guess loosely maybe is the word, I don't really know. But if you were going to be doing an altar space, but a lot of people, when I use the word altar, kind of get a little weirded out. They're like, I don't have an altar. And it's like, that's fine. What you might call a centerpiece, I might call an altarpiece. It's just different names. But so if you have a little setup on your table with, you know, some fall leaves and a little pumpkin and an orange candle, and you kind of do have an altar. But a lot of us just think of it as decorations. But some of the other things, if you're setting up an altar or just a centerpiece on your table, decorating around your house, is sunflowers, wheat, oak, marigolds, apples, walnuts, acorns, leaves. So those are some of the things we're going to use in our craft this afternoon as well. Typically at Mabon, you would be using some cinnamon or some clove. I love at this time of year to take an apple and slice it, and you put it in a little pan, and I put it on my stove that has like the little middle burner. It's called, I think it's just called simmer, or I don't know. It's, just the little warmer plate one. And I put some cinnamon sticks, some clove, and a couple of bay leaves in there with the apples, and I leave it on and just let it simmer. And the house smells amazing. And then every once in a while, I just add some more water. And that usually I can use that for about a week, and then I have to change it out because the apple starts to just get kind of yucky. But that's a nice way to work with some of them and make your house smell yummy at the same time. And I'm going through this pretty quickly, but like I said, if you want more information on it, I do have other videos that goes a little more in depth, but I want to make sure we have time to do our craft. It's not a real hard one, but and I haven't done it before, so that's always interesting when I do a craft for the first time live, because you'll see that it doesn't always work out as easy as the directions say it does. But so if you wanted to work with Mabon, some of the things you could do is create an altar. And like I said, an altar could be just take a nice little placemat from the dollar store, something that's brown or orange, red, yellowy, gold color, and, put a little candle on it, put a little pumpkin on it, maybe an acorn, a pine cone, put a few leaves around it, and you've got a really nice Mabon altar centerpiece decoration slash whatever else you want to kind of call it. You can make a wreath, which reminds me, if you're local and you're watching this, I still do have a couple of tickets left for our live Mabon gathering, which is tomorrow night from I believe it's 6:30 to 8:30, but I'll have to double check on that. I'm pretty sure that's what I put, was 6:30 to 8:30. And we're going to make wreaths. So I have all kinds of things I've gathered, leaves and ribbons and pine cones and whatnot, and glue sticks, all that other stuff that goes with it, And we're going to get together and make a Mabon wreath. But I've really been wanting for a while to do some live gatherings. And, the crafting and making the wreath is nice and fun, and you have a nice wreath after. But the gathering is really more about just getting some local people together and forming a little group. I don't want to say the word coven because that freaks people out, but a group of us, of women that are like-minded, that can support each other, that we can ask questions to each other. The people so far that have bought tickets, it's a nice, which it doesn't need to be, but it just happened to work out that way. Like, we have a nice variety of things that people do in the group, which is really kind of cool. We have somebody that does Reiki, we have somebody that does herbs, so it's kind of a nice variety of things that are going to be, of people that are in the group. And this is the first one, and hopefully it will go well, and we'll get back together on all of the other pagan holidays, Wheel of the Year events. But anyway, making a wreath, a horn of plenty. That's, we all see the it's also called the cornucopia, with, all the vegetables or gourds coming out of it and things like that, which is a nice centerpiece for your table. I wrote, scented pine cones. That's a really good thing you can do, and it's super easy. You can take the pine cones, and I've seen it done a couple of different ways. You can just rub oil on them, which is, a little tricky. And then you could roll it in cinnamon, you could roll them in nutmeg. Other people will just take the pine cone and set it in some cinnamon oil and kind of let the pine cone absorb it. You can put the cinnamon in a spray bottle and spray them and use them around the house, or you can buy them at Shaw's already made, but it's nice to go get your own pine cones and kind of do it yourself too. Another thing you could do is some protection charms if you wanted. Originally today we were going to do an intention honey jar, and we had kind of done one back in, I think, February for an intention for love. So it would be very similar. So even though it's not about Mabon, if you wanted to do a honey jar, an intention honey jar, you could go back and watch the one from February for love and just substitute, things that you would, herbs, oils, crystals, whatever you're going to use in the honey jar for love. You can use it for whatever the intention is you're setting for Mabon. So you could, if you were looking for abundance, because Mabon is a harvest festival, so abundance, you could use, green aventurine, and you could use herbs and oils that would be about abundance. If you don't know what those are, you can always private message me and I'll help you get together a list of things that you could potentially use depending on what your intention is that you're calling in. But usually when you're calling in an intention, you want an abundance of something. So, even if you don't have, say, I don't know, you're calling in an abundance of health, we would work with herbs and oils and stones that were in regards to health. But if you didn't have a lot of those things, we could bring in some abundance things because you want an abundance of health. So anyway, I get sidetracked here and go on. But if you decide you want to make any of these things that I've talked about and you don't really know where to start or what to use, just private message me or comment on here and I will certainly help you out. These are just, like I said, quick suggestions. So another thing you could do is make an apple doll. That's really easy. You can just take an apple and basically like peel the skin off around like the front side of an apple. Pick whatever side you want to be the front side, off the front side of the apple. And then you kind of carve in a little face and, the little eyes and make a nose and a mouth. And you can, again, it's on Pinterest, it's on Google, it's on YouTube. There's a million ways you can learn to do an apple doll. And then you set the apple out and kind of let it dry up. And it makes the face kind of shriveled and old looking like a little old lady. And then you can kind of put a hat on her or whatever you want to do with her. But that's kind of a fun craft too. Again, sorry, I'm going quickly here because I want to make sure we have plenty of time to do the craft. Again, I mentioned if you are pulling in colors for Mabon, it's the colors you're going to already be pulling in for autumn anyway. Browns, yellows, oranges, reds, golds, autumn colors. So I don't think that's probably anything that you probably aren't doing anyway. It's very similar to in Germany. They would be doing their Oktoberfest. It's one of those things like Oktoberfest starts in September, but I'm sure there's a reason for that. But so Mabon would be similar to Oktoberfest. For a lot of us here in the United States, it would be very similar to what we would now have Thanksgiving, which is at the end of October, which never made sense to me because I don't know about a lot of other places, but in New Hampshire in November, it's usually snowing. Nobody's out harvesting anything. You've already done all of that. But Thanksgiving, if you do some research, and it depends on who you ask, and people who are history buffs will probably disagree, but Thanksgiving was originally, according to some of the things that I have read, was actually back around October 3rd. So that to me makes a lot more sense, because that's really when you would be, doing your harvesting. Because the third harvest is Samhain, which is Halloween, and we'll talk about that next month. And again, if you want to get a jump start on that, there's lots of videos I have, and other people have too, that talk about Samhain. So I have a couple other videos on Samhain as well. Actually, I have quite a few. October gets into a lot of holiday stuff. There's a lot of things that are going on. Day of the Dead, Halloween, Samhain. So there's quite a few things in there. But I do have some videos that you can go find on that as well, which is exactly why I made my YouTube channel. Not because I want to be a YouTube star and be famous, because I don't think that's going to happen. But the YouTube I made because it was so much easier to go back and find the videos. Where with Facebook, it's a little trickier sometimes to find some of the videos. Their new Facebook system, the way it's set up, is a little confusing to me still. I'm still learning it, but now you can title them and you can put them in playlists and categories and stuff, and I'm still kind of figuring all that out, but it's a little bit easier now to find videos. But when I first started making the videos, if you wanted to find a video, you just had to sit there and scroll through the feed and go back and find the video. And sometimes the videos were quite a ways back, and I think people just didn't bother to go back and find it, because I'd be like, I'd scroll for a few minutes and be like, okay, I'm done with this. Where YouTube, I can go to my channel, and they're all titled, they're dated, and they're very easy to find. You can even search, just put in Mabon or Samhain, and it'll bring up my videos that have those in the title or the description. So that's why I did the YouTube channel, because it was just much easier to find the videos. But anyway, Mabon is very similar to what we now have as Thanksgiving, which is at the end of November, but a lot of sources say that Thanksgiving was actually celebrated more towards the beginning of October, which to me makes a lot more sense. But anyway, other things you can do for Mabon. Again, just going through it quickly, because I want to make sure we got time to do the craft here. It's not super hard, but like I said, I haven't done it yet. A feast, obviously, and using all the different things, like I said, that you would be harvesting. So you would have, potatoes and squash and corn and homemade breads and apple pies and, basically what you have at Thanksgiving. Pumpkin pies, things of that sort is a good way to celebrate Mabon. Go for a walk in the woods. If you don't live by the woods, go to a park and go for a walk in a park, somewhere safe, please. Don't go in a dangerous park. Another thing you could do is what we call make space, which is basically decluttering. So cleaning and organizing. Planting fall bulbs. I don't really know what kind of bulbs those are. I'm not really the plant person in my family. That's my mom. But you could plant some bulbs for the spring, but you'd plant them now to come up in spring. Make bread, which I just mentioned already, and make things with apples again, which I've already mentioned. So one of the big things was apple cakes. If you wanted to make an apple cake. Those are all things that would be really great for Mabon. And again, they're things that most of us are doing anyway. Right now is the time people are apple picking. they're going out to see the foliage. They're going to pick their pumpkins. So it's, it's just the things that were done during this season. And but the Celtic pagan, and I don't really know a lot about a lot of other different religion or different areas, but I'm pretty sure that no matter where you are in the world, um, when you had to grow your own food and take care of yourself, these were probably things that you were doing all the time anyway. We've just now, like I said, recently actually kind of named them and made a nice little wheel picture and things of that sort. But I think whether you were in China or Ireland or Africa or any of those places, they were following a very similar way of life, and they might have been named a little bit different. The god names are different. Obviously things they grow in Africa are going to be different than things they grow in Ireland or whatnot, but it was very similar. You wanted to pay attention to the seasons. You wanted to pay attention to the sun. You wanted to pay attention to when was the best time to harvest things and store things and to get you through. So that is like the really quick version of Mabon. So things that I put on the list for you to gather, and again, you guys can always make these your own. I encourage you to make them your own. I like to keep my things that I craft, that I make, very natural. I like to use mostly things that I would find outside or in nature, but obviously I can't walk outside and find ribbons outside. But I do like to try to keep my things a little bit more natural. But if you're more of a rhinestone and glitter and kind of a person, then go ahead and certainly incorporate that into your fairy. So I have my pine cone. So this is going to be the body. And I have our leaves. These I took just from the dollar store. You know how you can buy those little bundles of leaves for like putting in a vase or something. And I pulled it off, and that way it was the two of them are attached on one thing. And so that is actually going to be her wings, wherever I decide to attach that, or how I decide to attach that is going to be her wings. And it's very simple, but then hopefully you'll take this and I'm just gonna make one with you, but it would be kind of neat to make a bunch of them and hang them like in your picture window, or hang them in different places around your house, so they're kind of like when people come in, not because COVID's, we don't have a lot of people coming in, but if somebody was coming in, it would kind of be like a little like, oh, there's a fairy over there. Oh, there's a fairy over there. Another cool idea would be to kind of put them around town so people would find them, kind of like the whole painted rock thing. All right. So the other thing is a little felt ball, and I didn't find a felt ball, but I found gigantic cotton balls. So that's what I'm going to be using. Acorn, which is going to be her little hat, or him, I guess, but fish line. You could use twine as well if you wanted. Either one is fine. I have some twine here because I'm not quite sure what I'm doing for hair. I listed some felt, like the woolly felt kind of stuff. The felt that people are doing like the needle felting with, not like a piece of felt. And then around here, we don't have a whole lot of craft shops, and anyhow, I had some sari ribbon. We've talked about that before too. It's SARI, comes from India. I had some sari ribbon that had these little strands coming off it, and I was thinking that was going to be hair, but I don't think that's going to be, she's going to look like she's going bald. I don't think that's going to be enough hair, but so I brought some twine to maybe use as her hair as well. Glue is another thing. And a needle. So those are the things that I have. I think that's everything. String, needle, felt, pine cone leaves, glue. Yep. So this is going to be mine, but again, I really encourage you to make your own. If you make one, I'd really love for you to take a picture and send it to me or post it on the page. I'm trying to encourage people to be more interactive on the page. A lot of people go there. A lot of people see this stuff. People watch the videos and things, but for whatever reason, the page is not real interactive. And maybe that's on me. But other pages, like, people just post and comment all the time, and for whatever reason, that's not really, doesn't really happen on my page. I don't really know why, but anywho, a pair of scissors is good to have as well. So let me just jump in here. So the first thing I'm going to do is take the fish line, which I have, like, it's a really long piece here, but it kind of unwound on its own. And I'm blind, so I can't drop it or I'll never find it again. You guys can probably see it better than I can. Try to find the end here. Oh my gosh, I guess I did have a really big piece. I'm going to drop it and not find it. And we're going to thread the needle there. Virus protection. No, I'm good, thank you. Go away. And with this, we're just going to go up through I was afraid of this because it's not really felt it was going to do that. It's not really what I wanted to do, but anyhow. This is where me being blind becomes an issue. So I'm trying to pull one end through and not the other end. That's not really what I wanted to do. I didn't really do that the way I wanted to. So what I'm actually going to do is put this back on here. Just one. I shouldn't have doubled it over as much as I did because it didn't work the way I wanted it to. I knew what I wanted to do, but I just didn't make it happen. So I'm basically trying to make a loop here of sorts. Yeah. I don't know how well that's going to stay. So I just went and put the thread through my cotton ball. It should be a felt ball. It would have been rounder and held its form better if it was a felt ball, but I didn't have a felt ball, so we improvise and we work with what we got. Yeah, see, this is where, like, I have not done this before, and don't really know exactly what I'm doing. But I want to put a little hole through my acorn here, which it might be harder than I think it is, to put the string up through. I'm just taking the needle and kind of pushing that through there. See, I have to figure things out too. Even the teacher has to be taught by somebody. Usually it's myself, and it's by trial and error. So I'm just taking the needle here. I have a pretty big sturdy needle. If you got a little flimsy needle, this is not going to be the tool you're going to want to use. In hindsight, I probably would have had taken a drill beforehand and actually drilled a little teeny tiny hole in here. I don't know if this is getting me anywhere. I think it is. I'm making faces while I'm trying to do this. If I am, I'm sorry. I'm concentrating and trying to do this. I'm probably making weird faces as you stare at the top of my head, right? And the trick is to not go through and stab myself with the pin as well. I'm pretty sure it's going through. It's just a matter of breaking through to the other side. Which I can see the needle on the other side now. So now I just need to make the hole a little bit bigger so that the thread can go through there. Just wiggling the needle around. Like I said, I got a pretty big sturdy needle. If you kind of got just like a little regular sewing needle, this is probably not going to work for you. I was hoping to make it big enough that the needle would actually go through, but that might take too long to do. Alright. So I can see through it, so hopefully that's big enough. And then hair. I didn't get into eyeballs. I didn't get into, if you wanted to somehow make a face on her, you can certainly do that. You could use googly eyes if you want. A felt Sharpie marker and draw a face. Really, it's whatever you want to do with it. But I'm not putting a face on her. So the first thing I'm going to do is a little bit of hair. And I think what I'm going to do, I'm so blind. Sometimes crafting is just a challenge for me because I'm so freaking blind. Is I'm going to just cut this twine. And again, I just got this at the dollar store, and I've had this roll of twine forever. So $1 worth of twine has done many, many crafts for me. So I'm just cutting them into little lengths here. Sorry. Allergy season is here. So I'm just going to kind of take these and kind of find where the middle of them is. That doesn't find their middle point. I don't know. That doesn't sound like very good grammar, but. And as you can see, it's kind of just making it look like she's got messy curly hair here. And so I'm going to put a big glob of glue on the top of her head. And this is probably going to make a mess because glue usually does. I usually can't work with glue without making a huge mess. I don't want to make a huge mess on my mat. Just going to put it. This is my bag of feathers, but I'm just putting the glue on that so if it drips. And then I'm going to take the twine and place it in the glue here. So it's just going to kind of make her look like she's got some crazy weird hair going on here. And try not to glue my finger to it. I'm so like professional when it comes to this crap. I just kind of make a mess, and I usually end up with glue everywhere. I usually end up gluing something I don't want to, but it is what it is. I have my pencil here that I tend to use to spread glue around, so that I'm not using my finger. It's not real professional, but you know, it gets the job done. I think I'm gonna stick, even though like I've given her hair, I want to give her this like little color, like so it looks like maybe she's got some dyed hair in the front. Just gonna kind of put it off to one side. I would have liked to have done all her hair this way, but I didn't have enough to do it. But this maybe makes her look like she's just got a chunk of hair in the front that's dyed. All right. Then the next step, and if I was making this not on live video, I would probably wait a few in between each steps to let things dry a little bit better. So right now I'm putting the string through my little hole in my acorn. So that's going to be her little hat. So again, blind, you can't see what I'm doing. All right, that one's through. Where's the other one? Got some meditation music going in the back there. Sounds like we got some Native American music maybe going here. And again, I apologize. I'm so blind. I have such a hard time seeing. All right, I got it that time. Now both pieces of string or fish line are through her little acorn cap. We'll see here. My front doesn't really seem like it's coming out as my front, but we'll work on that. Again, like I said, if I was doing this just by myself, I'd probably be letting the glue dry a little better in between. So what I'm doing now is, I should be putting this down so you guys can actually see what I'm doing. That doesn't help much, does it? I don't want to drop you either. And I can't see, I don't have my glasses on, so it looks blurry to me, but I'm just tying a knot to kind of hold that acorn down. The glue from her hair is still wet, so that's probably gonna kind of help hold that down too, but afterwards I'm gonna kind of go back in and move her hair around, and so it's not all like in the front of her head. Trying to get some hair in the back here too. And now she just kind of looks like a spider. All right, so there, she's got a little bit more hair around to the back of her head now. So this is, yeah, it looks kind of funky right now, but that is my fairy head. So I'm gonna just tie this off. This is what I will use to hang her up. I'm just gonna tie a knot up here. And then cut the end so it's not crazy super long here. And I'll probably lose these pieces, but I'm going to put them there with the needle, so hopefully I'll be able to find them. All right, so before I go to the next step, which is going to be try to attach her wings. Put her head over here for a second. So I'm going to try to find, like, to me, that's the nicer side of the pine cone. But there's kind of a dip down here, which makes it maybe look like that should be the front. So yeah, I'm going to use, this is the back of the pine cone, this is the front of the pine cone. So that means back here, we need to find a place to attach her wings. So what I'm going to do is kind of pick, this one seems like it's kind of in the center, and it's a nice spot here. So I'm going to put a big dab of glue on there. And again, this is real-time stuff here, and normally I would be waiting in between for things to dry, but so I'm going to just stick that on there. Obviously this is going to have to dry later, but just try to get it so it's a nice fit, like it has a nice, so those are her wings. And like I said, again, this is going to have to dry a little bit because I'm not doing, you know, like a timed relapse kind of a thing here. So her wings are attached, and now I'm going to take her head here and it would be better if I actually had a felt ball because it would be rounder. Right now her head is not very round, but I'm going to try not to glue her hair down to it and attach her head here. Yeah, she's going to need some dry time because she's not staying together. But basically, my pine cone's a little big for the fact that her head is not very big. So I kind of have a fat fairy. If you find some felt balls that are a little bigger, that would make her a little bit more proportioned, and her head would stay round because, like I said, her head is really not staying round. Once it dries and you hang it, it'll probably, you know, pull her head a little bit up more so it's not so short and fat. But She's got a little tuft of purple, blue, red hair here in the front. And her wings will hopefully dry. And like I said, you can glitter this up. You can, put my glasses back on here. You could glitter this up. You could give her something else different for hair. You could use actual feathers instead of the leaves for wings. These I'm gonna, once it dries on here, I'm gonna try to turn them a little bit better so they, you know, obviously they're not dried and they're not staying, but this is why I just love real-time TV, real-time video. But yeah, once it dries and I tweak it a little bit, I will come back with some pictures for you. But just like I said, you could certainly put glitter on the leaves. That would be cool. You could put glitter on the pine cones if you wanted. You could put glitter on both. Just you could use some gold glitter, might be nice for the Mabon part of it. But if you wanted to, you know, make these for other seasons and other times, you would just incorporate other items. Or like I said, you could actually use feathers to make her wings if you wanted. Right now I'm gluing my own thumb to the pine cone as I'm trying to hold the leaves on here. My thumb is getting glue all over it. But yeah, I will certainly come back with some pictures of her after I've tweaked her a little bit. And like I said, when she's dry and the string is there, it's going to kind of pull her head a little bit more around so she's not so flat. But that's basically what she looks like. But you can be creative and make her your own. Like I said, you could draw a face on her. You could use googly eyes if you wanted. You could do all kinds of things to them and make them different. You could put little sticks on for arms if you wanted, or legs. You could use some pipe cleaner to put arms or legs on. I don't really like to do the pipe cleaner thing, but I know a lot of people do. But so that's what she looks like. So like I said, it's super easy, and the thing I like about it is, you know, you could actually go outside and get real leaves to do this. Walk around and find the pine cones. Walk around and find the acorns. So it's a nice way to gather supplies by actually being outside as well. So there is my little Mabon Fairy. You could put a little pom-pom up here. That'd be cool. Maybe hang a little bell off her somewhere. I mean, really be creative. Make her your own. Put some rhinestones on her. Put actually some gemstones on her somewhere. You know, I don't know, be creative, do all kinds of neat things with them. But easy little craft to do. But like I said, one of the things I really like about it is, like, you know, to walk around and find the pine cones, walk around, find your leaves, find your acorn caps, and be out in nature while you're doing it. So I'm gonna let her dry, and like I said, I'm gonna tweak her probably just a little bit, but I'm going to put her face down so that her wings actually get a chance to dry here. Put the cover back on my glue before it goes everywhere, as it usually does. All right. And so I will see you guys on Monday for our weekly forecast, as always. And if you're local, like I said, there are still a few tickets available for the live Mabon event, which is tomorrow night. And it's $22. The $22 covers basically my costs for getting the craft supplies and renting the room. I'm not making any money off it or anything like that. It's not really my thing. I'm not like, I really just wanted us to get together and kind of form a nice group of people that we have for support and questions. And I know so many people think like there's nobody around that thinks like we think, and there's so many people that just won't. It's hard. It's very hard to kind of come out of the closet about this kind of stuff, um, and be to speak out about it and speak our truth about it. But there's so many more people in our community that I have talked to and had conversations with, and it's like, there's just so many of us that we really do need to get together and have some sharing of the knowledge, so to speak. So, all right, I have to go. I'm going to be late for work as usual, but I could stay here and talk to you guys all day. So anyway, I'll see you Monday for weekly forecasts. I will post some pictures of the Mabon gathering. Depending, I'm going to ask people if they want their picture taken, or if not, if I can take a picture of their wreath. But whatever, I'll get a couple pictures. If not, at least I'll get a picture of my wreath up there to show you what it's going to look like. And I hope everybody has a really great weekend. I have glue on my fingers, so I'm picking the glue off my fingers. I hope everybody has a really great weekend, and remember to be kind. Your kindness is not only going to improve your day, it's going to improve someone else's day, and potentially could change somebody's life for the better. So, and it doesn't cost anything to be kind. So, lots of love. Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend. You're awesome. Bye.